What's up, NGS? I'm Arcane, and I have with me my wonderful co-caster.
IDKShrubs. Sorry about that.
There he goes. Was wondering if I lost you there for a second. We're going
Nope.
to be casting a NGS Division D West match between Pigeon Stitches and Stranger Pings. The match happened in round one, and there was nobody around to cast it, so we're doing a little cast my replay. As a result, we don't have their bans or their map picks information. We don't have any of the draft, so we're just kind of flying with running from game one to game two to game three, and we'll see kind of how it goes from there based off of what we see at the beginning of the match. Anything you want to add, Shrubs?
No, nothing I can think of. Just like he said, it's our first time, so this might be a little rough, but we'll try our damnedest.
All right. Thank you. And we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to start on the left here with, who is it on the left? Pigeon Stitches? Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and start with Pigeon Stitches on the left. With Pigeon Stitches on the left, loading in right now, we've got Black and Avian playing Varian, Deaf Child Area playing Gul'dan, Fox playing the Lost Vikings, Slava playing Deckard, and Killer Fry playing Johanna. And on our red team,
on the red team, we have Abathur being played by Akimbo, Murden playing by Candidate Legend, Rhaegar being played by Moose Brawl, Li Ming being played by Ghost 444, and Raynor being played by Wesley. And that is Stranger Pings for you.
Yeah, and so right away we can see TLV is splitting off into all three lanes. With the strong four-man that they have here between Deckard, Johanna's a tanky tank, and they've got Varian, who did go High King's Quest. Let's go ahead and get those up. Yeah, he did go High King's Quest, so they have a very strong four-man here. They've got Gul'dan to dish out damage. I don't see a need for Eric to be with the four-man, and he's rotating up now. Looks like Stranger Pings doesn't really know where they're at, but they should be able to see him bottom. And it looks like, yeah they're rotating down to respond.
Most likely Varian will probably end up going Twin Blade, if not Colossal Smash, because they do have a true tank with them. And he did go High King's Quest, which is typically not what you go if you want to go Taunt. As Abathur is also in top lane getting that top soak, while Raynor is in mid for Stranger Pings.
I'm going to pause real quick. The game audio is really loud. Hey guys, sorry about the game audio there in the beginning. We have gone ahead and adjusted that down a little bit so you can hear our beautiful voices a little bit better, and so your ears don't get blown out by ridiculous music and sounds of Baylog throwing knives at Abathur mines. Let's go back down to where things are interesting. Ooh, see that Murden jump away. He's alright, he's Murden, as long as he's got that jump.
So Abathur, keep a note on top, Abathur just moved into an even more advantage, just can't think of the word, just more forward.
Yeah, he's being very aggressively placed right there, which means that if at any time TLV wants to just rotate all their members up there and do so. I missed a kill. Looks like this group of three took on the four-man and managed to get Gul'dan. He must have been out of position. Something went wrong there. You can see he only has a couple of corruption stacks, so he's not too far ahead on his quest right now. Good job on Stranger Pings for not really stacking up on those corruption casts.
Yeah, and both teams do have level 4 now. So let's see what we were getting out of that.
Out of Varian is our one in particular here, since he's picking up his ult at 4. Still waiting on that pick.
Fell back. Looks like mid lane is just pushing back and forth normally.
Looks like we got shielding potions from Deckard. So as somebody that plays Deckard a lot, the shielding potions add so much value to preventing that burst, and with a Li Ming on the other side, that's going to help a lot into her burst. We're still waiting on seeing Varian's ult. I'm wondering if they're waiting for the engage or possibly for Murden's 4, or maybe they're waiting on each other.
Yeah, I don't play Muradin much, or I do play Variant decently, but I don't play Muradin much. So I don't know what the counterplay is there at level 4, at the very least.
I'm a little intrigued by this revealing quest on Scroll of Identify. I guess they do have a couple of... They have Muradin in the front, who's kind of tanky, but I've always found that the Spell Power quest adds just so much more healing value to the few potions that you can get out now on Deckard, since they upped his cooldowns. If you have all this prep time to get nice 5 potions down, it works great, but usually in the heat of things, you don't.
Also, Abathur did take some damage. He did move bottom as Objective moves to middle. He was, from what I could tell from the minimap, up in a more aggressive position, and a Viking went down to see him. I think that's Eric down there?
Yeah, that looks like Eric down in the bottom lane. We do have a fight happening over Objective on the blue side, so they're... Stranger Pings is pushing in aggressive onto Pigeon Stitches, but Pigeon Stitches just got 7. And we do actually see Twin Blades from Varian, and he went ahead and got Second Wind as well. So now it looks like they can be very aggressive on here. At least until,
jumping away.
At least until Stranger Pings gets 7.
Abathur is in danger in bottom. He's taking some damage from Eric.
Abathur makes it away from Eric. And I'm really liking the value that TLV is getting here. They're being able to soak all the lanes during this fight, especially since the Abathur's not joining them in the fight, so it stays a 4-man. And it looks like Rhaegar's going to go down.
Yeah, Rhaegar.
But Varian gets put down in response. He was just a little bit too far out there. He wasn't in range of the potions from Deckard. He wasn't with the rest of his team. He did have a Johanna trying to peel for him, but just wasn't enough.
And the Li Ming did get the resets on that, but unfortunately didn't follow up on another kill, which would have been useful, but they look like they are clearing mid right now with a low Muradin getting his trait value.
Yeah, and that's actually something I think we're going to see be pretty interesting going on in this game. With Li Ming getting those resets on kills, I wouldn't be surprised if TLV joins a fight and Li Ming starts to get reset after reset after reset.
Yeah, which in that regard, it would be wiser for the TLV to stay away from the fights.
Definitely. And we
Abathur
actually
is
see
playing very aggressive.
Yes, definitely. This Abathur's been aggressive all game. We definitely do see Pigeon Stitches getting a lot of value out of all this split soak.
Baylor? Yeah.
I don't know what Baylog is doing out that far. Probably dying. Yeah, that's a dead Baylog. Sorry, Baylog. Don't walk all the way onto the other team's side.
So looks like Stranger Pings is finally able to get up cap and get the timer start going down on their side.
Yeah, I'm wondering how well they're going to be able to push back against this. 20 seconds left on the timer. We do have level 10 coming for Pigeon Stitches though, so if they can get level 10 during this fight, they can push in with that advantage. Oh, missed the potion there. Alright, so they have level 10 now. What I really want to see is them engage hard on the other team's objective. We really want to see them push in and take advantage of this half a level lead that TLV's been giving them. The Abathur's been keeping it close, but TLV can soak another lane more than Abathur can.
So we have the shield ult from Johanna, we have the stay a while and listen for Deckard. I can't see what the others are.
Oh, and
unfortunately,
there's
I am
play again on Vikings. And looks like Bless Shield from Johanna, and Horrify on Gul'dan, and Shield Wall from Varian.
Okay, so you did go shield wall.
Play again is going to get a lot of good value with the amount of split push you can get here. I've always loved Stay a While and Listen more than Lornado. It just lets you set up great getaways as well as great surrounds and great kills.
Yeah, unfortunately from the looks of it, we do have 10s from the Stranger Pings, and they are pushing back. They are now starting to, they did not hold it off enough time, and so the blue team did get the objective, as well as
and Varian should be able to get away here. I don't know why Olaf ran back in. That's a dead Olaf. You're real squishy, even though you're a tank.
Yeah, but we did get a nice Ancestral out of Rhaegar onto the Muradin at the tail end of that.
Yeah, so Ancestral will be on cooldown for this, which means that Pigeon Stitches can push kind of hard here. They've burned 2 cooldowns, and they still have most of theirs, if not all of theirs, coming up in a couple seconds.
So looks like the Vikings, I can't tell how many of them are up top, pushing against the Abathur, where mid lane is cleared and bottom lane is getting pressed pretty hard, and will lose the keep.
Yeah, Pigeon Stitches makes a good call to just push bottom lane. They've got some good push here top lane. I'd like to see one of these Vikings go mid and just take up this soak.
Ooh, they look like they're about to get that Abathur. They are hitting that Abathur.
Oh, nice. They got the Abathur.
Yeah.
That'll get them ahead on soak quite a lot, because that Abathur has been helping them tremendously in terms of soak. See if I can find the stat here. Yeah, that Abathur has so much soak for Stranger Pings, but we can just see the massive amount of soak that Lost Vikings gets when they're allowed to just split up and soak lanes.
Over double what he's getting.
They also have 23 globes on their quest. I don't like this bribe pick, I'll be honest. There's only there's only two mercenaries that can be bribed on this map, and neither of them do all that much outside of getting some push during the objectives. I think that it is nice since they have the 4-man on the objective, and the one Viking can come by, bribe all 3 of them, and then move on to Soka lane. We do see a Viking get caught out. 2 Vikings get caught out by Li Ming. She must be loving those resets. But I would have rather seen perhaps the Olaf or even the Baylog pick up there. The Baylog one's really nice for helping clear, but it seems like they're doing all right.
No, we got a Hyperion out in a small skirmish. I don't think there's much going to be coming out of this, though the red team does seem to be pushing with it still, but it's now gone, and they look like they're going to be retreating.
So they seem to just keep this fight going here a little bit, but both teams backing off now. So something that we have to be worried about, or that Pigeon Stitches needs to be worried about in this next fight, is even though Stranger Pings is set up with a 4-man, their Abathur did go Ultimate Evolution, so they will have a clone in this next fight ready to engage, and if TLV isn't there, they're going to have a lot of trouble engaging 4v5.
So that is Ancestral out on a Baird Muradin. They are hitting that very, very hard, but he does have wall, so he can protect himself fairly well. Muradin is low, but he does have a hat on him.
A lot of fighting happening mid rather than over the points. I'd prefer to see one team, preferably Pigeon Stitches, kind of push in. They do have a level advantage. They don't have a talent advantage right now, but they do know that Ancestral was just burned. They don't have Horrify, they don't have Blessed Shield, but they still have Play Again, and they still have Stay a While, and those together, stay a while and listen, and then the Vikings come in and get a surround on somebody. That's an easy pick off.
Yeah. And to give merit to the pick for the bribe, it looks like the Vikings did go and bribe the enemy camp.
Oh yes, they did come and take the enemy camp. That was a good pickup. So they are getting value out of it. It's something I'd like to see more on a map like Infernal Shrines. The bruiser camps there. You can bribe the one guy in the middle and kill the 2 guys on the side real quick.
Yeah.
Ooh,
unfortunately,
nice stay a while,
like
catching all 5 members there, including the close.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there was a kind of a wasted Hyperion a few seconds before that, but they were pushing and they followed it. But
yeah, so it looks like Pigeon Stitches is going to turn this back on them. But
they did
get
a few seconds on
defending for
side.
now. True.
Is that Li Ming? Li Ming looks like she's going back for some mana, I'm guessing.
Just had a sip from Johanna. It looks like, yeah, Li Ming's refilling on mana. They are getting their ults back. The only one missing now is Hyperion. So they might want to take this engage before the 16 comes out.
Pigeon Stitches do get the channel going, while Stranger Pings is pushing their way in, trying to get to it. Though none of them are going for the point itself, they are just focusing on the fight.
Hyperion's taking a lot of damage. They really need to start channeling, otherwise they're going to lose this point. Varian
Looks
goes
like they're gonna
down.
lose
They're
the
winning the
objective
team
for the
fight,
fight.
but they lose the objective.
And the Murden did stay alive due to another Ancestral on him, so those Ancestrals have been keeping that man alive.
See if they get the Gul'dan pick here. Yeah, it looks like no, you should be able to make it out with that stay a while.
And get some more corruption points in. Does he
Yeah, those corruption stacks are done, so that's a lot of damage if you can hit them on a nice grouped up clump like right there in that stay a while. So we've got 16 coming out. We're seeing even more corruption damage on Gul'dan. We're seeing Banner of Ironforge. So they're wanting that armor probably up against the Li Ming and the Raynor. They think the armor will just help mitigate some of that damage.
Especially on a point type of battle that they will be.
That's one we don't see very often. We've got Herodric Staff from Deckard Cain. That is the stun talent, what I like to refer to as a trap talent at that tier. There are a lot of great talents on 16. One of my favorites is the extra damage on your E when you hit more than one person. It turns that into such a just burst shredding ability. But I'm wondering what he wants those stuns for.
Do they have bots or are they baiting? Oh, they're waiting for
Looks like they're
objective,
waiting for it to come up.
Whoops.
Yep, right as objective finishes, and they have TLV up here. That guy's dead, but it doesn't really matter because they have play again and they just jump right back down to boss.
Yeah, so Pigeon Stitches are taking boss uncontested, able to get that. Now the question is, are they going to push with it or are they going to go push mid lane? Looks like they're going for mid lane. If not, rotating for the next boss.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that Herodric Staff pick. I've never seen it get much value, but we'll see. I wasn't sure about the bribe either, and they've been using that to good. Alright, so Stranger Pings just goes ahead and responds by taking top boss, and then they all back, or at least most of them back. Yep, there they go, to respond to this bottom boss. Just clear it. And Pigeon Stitches has to do the same. Ooh, 2 members taking a huge stun there. Yeah, they're going to clear this no problem. They almost lose the keep, but they'll still have it, so it won't be as constant of catapult pressure. And only the wall lost for Pigeon Stitches, so pretty good trade there, I would say.
Definitely in their favor. As a top objective comes up again, and the teams look like they're falling in to deal with it. Well, actually, no, Pigeon Stitches is getting camp. Yeah, both teams are actually.
Why am I following Deckard? How do I? Whoop. Stop following Deckard, game. There we go.
Yeah. So I can't tell what they're doing.
It looks like they're calling for everyone to get on the point. They really want to defend this. They should send TLV out to get that 20 before they take this fight. But it doesn't look like they need it. Wow! That's a great Horrify from Gul'dan. Alright, well with Rhaegar dead, they kind of split off and are, I guess they're sipping and trying to clear a couple waves, maybe looking for 20 before they move in. I think with Rhaegar dead, you've got to capitalize on the fact that they don't have a healer and just push in right away. You have your TLV out soaking lanes, he's going to get you 20, you don't need to spend time.
Yeah, you can just do chip damage and they won't be able to do anything about that. Especially if you chip them enough with especially with the Gul'dan's corruption build right now.
Abathur stops that Balog from killing this keep down here, but only barely. He's very close to death. We do see the 20s coming out for Pigeon Stitches. We've got Frenzy on Varian, so that'll just up his twin blades to the max. We've got Haunt, so just even more Horrify power. Fury of the Storm from TLV, so it looks like they're going to come in to try and do some clear just to keep those lanes pushed out. That'll add all that extra area damage on those guys. Bottomless Flask, great pickup. That's one of the best ones at 20 for Deckard. And
especially in a map without a point.
So Storm Shield coming out from Johanna.
So they
Oh,
were
yeah.
able to defend their objective and not let the blue team get a full
3.5
cap on
seconds
it.
left.
Yeah. They were, during that entire fight, they were constantly channeling and contesting it. So if they weren't doing that, it would have been capped by now. And we're able to push them back.
Looks
It
like they're
doesn't look
looking
like
to
they
push
got any
back
kills
in.
in it,
Pigeon
though.
Stitches wants that extra 3.5 seconds. The more time they give Stranger Pings to get 20, the worse off they're going to be in this fight. Those
However,
beaming
2 people
resets
did
coming in.
pop up.
All right, we've got another little skirmish happening. The roots will help keep that Rhaegar away from their team. And we see the Blessed Shield go out on Raynor. Not really anyone there to follow up. A nice Horrify onto Rhaegar. Should be able to get him if they focus him, but looks like they're out on Muradin right now.
Who
And
does
it's
jump
just
away?
not enough to get him. There's a Muradin clone in the field. They seem to be focusing that down rather quickly.
Murden looks like he did get some health and is returning back,
We
but
do
doesn't have
see
anyone
TLV
behind him.
grab bottom keep during that fight. Great move by TLV. Everybody's distracted. Everybody's fighting on point. Go ahead and take the low health keep while you can. Looks like they're going to get the channel here, and unless red team moves in, there's not really much they're going to be able to do.
Nope, that looks like they do get Pigeon Stitches does secure the 3rd objective of this game.
And I like the way they've been pushing. They've been pushing top and bottom a lot. That gives them a lot of access to the bosses, which are both top and bottom. So I'm happy with the way that they've been pushing out the lanes during these objectives, giving them a lot of basically just pressing their advantage even further situationally to have room to take those bosses, which did help them out a lot earlier.
And now comes for the defense of the top keep for Stranger Pings. They do seem to be a bit slow, but Pigeon Stitches weren't pressing the advantage, waiting for the cavalry to come up for the advantage, and we now have a
That's a
decent fight going out.
self-ancestral, but it's not
Yep.
enough with the sleep. We're gonna see Muradin try to jump away, but he's rooted. And that's a dead Muradin. Those roots will get you, man. Deckard's a strong hero.
And with that, the top keep is down.
Top keeps down, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was game. We've
Yeah,
got
I was about to say, I think the general is
four at
engaging the
half.
bottom.
engaging
Yep.
on the bottom. We've got TLV down there poking in some damage. Another kill, and finally High King's quest completed.
Yeah, unfortunately, I
Varian.
don't think Stranger Pings is recognizing what's going on with their core.
Yeah, they were too busy fighting top, too busy trying to defend that keep. They didn't notice the open lane bottom and push off the TLV while they
just
pushed
pushing
in.
in. Yep.
A GG from Killer Fry and a GG back.
So,
This is a
yep.
good first game. We're going to take a quick break to kind of discuss a little bit of thoughts about that. While we sit here, and Pigeon Stitches gets their first win of the series and of the NGS tournament.
Season 6? Yes.
All right, so a couple of things from that game. It's always surprising to see a TLV come up in any sort of competitive situation. I'm not sure when they were picked, but I would doubt it was early. And I'm not sure
Very
about
much
the
so.
Abathur pick in response to them. So the real advantage that you want to take when a team goes TLV is that they're going to be roaming as a 4-man. And you really want to have your 5-man group be able to take on that 4-man group whenever they try to step up, because it doesn't matter if they're getting experience. You're going to be getting so much experience by killing off that 4-man over and over and over again just because they're down a member. And then you can roam and you can kill those TLV, you can kill Eric, you can kill Balor, you can kill Olaf when they're by themselves, and or when their controller's not really paying attention. I know I've done that plenty of times. So I don't know if the Abathur was taken in response to the TLV or if the TLV was taken in response to the Abathur, but I think what really could have helped Stranger Pings in that match was just a stronger 5-man to control those points rather than fighting 4v4 and letting TLV get all that extra soak, because they can soak a lot better than Abathur can. It's just they can be in every lane.
We saw that mid-game when they had already doubled the soaking that Abathur had done. The other thing is with Abathur, is unfortunately he can only push one lane at a time, where the TLV can push all 3 lanes. So there was a disadvantage there already. So again, we don't know the draft. One could have been a response to the other, which is possible, unless both teams just favor those heroes to start with.
Yeah, and I would like to just close it off with, I think we saw a lot of good value coming out of Gul'dan there. I think we saw a lot of good value coming out of Varian. I think that the Li Ming wasn't getting her resets often enough. She did get a few, but the TLV were playing smart. They were staying out of team fights, and they weren't letting that Li Ming get resets when it mattered. And I think that's really kind of what let Pigeon Stitches keep on those points as long as they did. The sustain from Deckard with potions, especially once Bottomless Flask comes online, is just ridiculous in terms of being able to stick to a point. So I think it was a
Yeah.
really good draft for this map from Pigeon Stitches. I don't know what I would have liked to have seen from Stranger Pings, but that's really just because we don't have access to the draft and how that went. Otherwise, we'd be able to give a little bit more insight in that direction.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to hop over to game 2 really quick. So I'll see you guys there.